Good morning, everyone. It is Brenda here for Stamplicity, and welcome to Fun Friday. All right, so today sorry, the camera, I can never get the camera in the right position when I'm sitting down on my chair. When I'm standing up, I can deal with it, but it's right in the middle of my face. Today we're going to kind of explore some of the really cool ephemera packs from Uniquely Creative. And we're going to create a couple of tags, some layered tags, and then I'm going to use those tags and I'm going to put them on a card. I'll leave a tag as a tag, and then maybe I'll even create a layout with this just to show you how simple using some of these elements from Uniquely Creative is. Now, if you joined us at Scrap Fest and you were a cropper there, this was actually kind of our make and take that we presented for the cropper. And it was kind of cool because it kind of set up as like a little buffet. You kind of picked and choose your little ephemera pieces and you built up your own tag and you could use it however. But I did really want to show you because these ephemera packs from Uniquely Creative are really fantastic. So let's just back up on. I just want to make sure I have my comments going here. Let's just back up and let's start with our base. All right. So we're going to be using this one, and honestly, I use this tag over and over and over again. I love the size of this tag. It fits on an A2 card nicely. It's a nice tag. We've used it in make and takes before for different events, and it's got that lovely stitching design on there. All right, so to me, this is just a staple I have in my collection. I own, like I said, more than one of these, and I do love this tag die. I should tell you the name of it. It's called the Stitched Essential Tag Die, and it's $10. I mean, it's $9.99. A really great value. All right. So then, what we did is Uniquely Creative, with one of their collections, came out with a paper that was coordinates with this tag. All right. And we do have it available. I just don't know the name of it, and I forgot to grab one from the store. But it has a sheet of pre-printed tags on it. I believe there's 8 on there. And then the die will actually fit right on there if you want to die cut them out, or you could just use your paper trimmer to trim the tags out. All right. But they've got this beautiful kind of vintage floral pattern on there. Like I said, there's 8 designs on the page. Um, and that's what we did for our croppers for the make and take. We just cut them all out. So I'm going to be working with these as my base. All right, then we have what I call my little buffet. I have my snackle boxes here, as we call them, and it's just full of fun stuff from Uniquely Creative. Some of the ephemera packs. We've got some florals in here. We've got some of the whatever these ones are, the acetate layering pieces. We've just little bits and pieces. So I'm going to just put these to the side. I'm going to talk about kind of what we're going to be using. So these are kind of some of the staples from Uniquely Creative. They don't really belong to a certain collection, but they are available. So first of all, paper flowers. These are great for tucking in, filling in areas, and they're white. All right, and you can ink these. You can spray these to change the colors of them. So they're just a great little basic to have. And then this one here is called Timeless Ephemera. All right. So this one's going to have a lot of kind of background and layering pieces in there. There's a bit of florals in there and some butterflies as well. This one here I love, and they have a couple of different of these ones here. And this is called the Vintage Layering Ephemera. And we've got some really kind of finer detailed pieces in here. All right, so we're going to be using that. And then we have the Acetate Layering Ephemera, which is just colored acetate and film strips and the little wheels there and some extra little bits. I have doilies here. And then on that paper I was talking that had the tags on there, it also had, I think they had little sentiments on there and tickets as well. So just a really great paper. All right. So if you want to look for some, if you had to create some tags to put on gift bags, that'd be a great paper. So they have little sayings on there as well as these little tickets. So, all right. So that's what I'm going to be creating. I'm going to just layer some, to kind of show you how to layer components together to create a really quick and easy project using tags. Like I said, I'm going to incorporate this onto a card front. And if I have time, I will also do a layout with it as well. All right. So I'm going to put these pieces away. I'm going to leave the doilies here. Uniquely Creative has doilies as well. I forgot to mention that. Mine got a little crumpled in my bag here, but that's okay. They have the regular paper doilies, and then they have more of a smaller one. Ooh, I think I have one here. I do. I do. Oh no, these are my samples. Haha. I was looking for them. I was wondering, where are they? Okay. No, I don't have the other doilies here, but you'll see it in this one here. It's a little they have these little paper doilies which are in pastel colors, and they're about maybe 2.5 inch in diameter. They're a little bit more finished than the regular doilies, but they are just great little add-on pieces. All right, so this is kind of where I'm going, and using the ephemera to create things like this. All right, so again, that can be incorporated then onto a card front or onto a layout, or use as a tag. All right, so I'm going to show you how to kind of create the layered look on these tags very simply. All right, so let me just get myself organized with my little snackle boxes here. So the other thing I wanted to point out is, and I don't know if there's any in here, that Uniquely Creative has these great little lace pieces as well. And they come in a pack of, I don't know, there's at least 20 in there. Anyways, let's see if I have some in here. Ta-da. Yes, I do. And I've used them in classes before, but they have these great little lace pieces as well, which are great for layering in as well. So I'm going to show you that as well. Okay, let's just get going here, Brenda. Stop talking and let's get going. All right, so I'm just going to put them to the side. So I'm going to do 2 at a time here. So I'm just going to pick 2 tags, all right? And we'll just work on both of them. Actually, maybe we'll do 3. Let's do 3 tags. I feel one I can leave as a tag, one I can use in a card front, and maybe one I will do on a layout. All right, so let me just see in terms of patterns. I want to leave these scripts for the layout ones. All right, so let's do these 3 patterns here. All right, we got a polka dot, we got a floral, and then we've got just a floral at the bottom. Okay, so when you do your layering or kind of collage work, you always want to have like kind of a base for everything. So that's where these larger pieces are going to come into effect. So I'm just going to grab 3, and because the nature of these ephemera pieces, ooh, there's a bingo card. I like the bingo card. I'm gonna put that. They all kind of work because they have the same color palette. All right, so all right, I'm going to start something like that. Now, nothing, when you do this, you don't have to stay in the parameters of that tag. All right, you can have things hanging off, and that's okay. All right, so you'll notice that some of them I will have centered in, some of them I'm going to have hanging off because I want some of that pattern showing from the base tag. All right, so that's basically my base. All right, now we're going to start adding some of the more detailed pieces of this. All right, so again, I like to lay everything out first, and then start at gluing everything down. So this is where the finer pieces are going to come into effect. All right, so we've got these great frames. All right, so let's put that one there. We've got these window frames, which is stuck with an acetate piece here. Let's put that one there. And of course, I picked one of my boxes here that has, all right, there, these ones are all mixed up. Okay, let's do, all right, I might switch this one up. And I'm going to, well, I guess I'm going to have to use another picture frame on here because I'm got the bare necessities in this one. Let me just search. Literally, we had all these snackle boxes made up for the crop, and I just grabbed one thinking there was lots in there, but my tags were in there, and that is why. So, okay, we're just going to go with that. Just, actually, you know what? I got half a frame here. That might be fun. Doo-doo. Sorry, guys. I'm being picky, 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 picky. All right, we're just going to commit. All right, so I think I'm going to just show you how you can cut these ephemera bits into little bits and pieces. All right, so this was a frame that someone had cut in half. All right, so it's this frame that's cut in half. All right, so when we've got our more detailed pieces on here, and now I'm going to, I think I'm going to start tacking those down because the rest of the stuff is just going to be the pieces on top. Now, if I wanted to add a doily in here, now you can do a full doily, you can cut this in half. So I'm going to cut this one in half and we're going to use it on 2 of them. Okay, so let's start gluing stuff together. All right. Now, when I glue stuff together, I never ever put glue to the outer edges. All right. You want to have areas for tucking, as I always say. So just put glue in the center so that you are able to tuck elements in here and there. All right. So I'm going to start with my doily on this one. And again, you'll notice I'm just putting the glue kind of in the center. I'm going to have this kind of hanging off the edge. I don't want to cover up my hole there. All right. I'm going to bring it down. Now, I may trim off just that little bit of excess here. No, I'll leave it on. I'll leave it on for now. And then we're going to start building this up. All right. So again, I am just going to put adhesive just in the center. And I'm going to now just start gluing these pieces together. All right. Frame, just a couple spots of glue. All right, so there is the start of a wonderful tag. Now, it's going to look a lot better when we start putting the extra little add-ons. All right, so that's the first one. Let's do our second one. Now, the second one, I'm going to kind of fold the doily just to give it a little bit different texture. Anything goes, right? Like, so I'm going to just kind of put that to the side here. All right, I'm going to start layering my pieces now. And we're offsetting this one just ever so slightly to the right-hand side. So this actually design was brought out by Uniquely Creative. Last year when I was in Vegas at the retailer show, this was their make and take. And it was so much fun. I think I spent the most time at this make and take table because I was just having so much fun creating, you know, because you can do your own thing. There was no set plan. And I apologize profusely saying, I'm sorry I'm taking so much time. They're like, no, no, just, you know, have fun with it. And so I did. And then when Scrapfest came around, I approached Uniquely Creative saying, I want to do something for our croppers, or for the croppers at Scrapfest. How can you help us? And they're like, well, we still have some of these make and takes left over from Vegas. I'm like, oh, that was such a great make and take. Yes, let's do that. So they sent me whatever they had left over from their make and takes, and we added to it. So shout out to Ashley and Tracy from Uniquely Creative and supporting us on that make and take. It was so much fun, and everyone was loving it. And it's still going on, right? So you can all take advantage of it now as well, and seeing how it all goes together. Okay, so there's my kind of my 3 bases. All right, so now we're going to start tucking elements in. All right, so this is where some of the smaller elements are going to come into effect. All right, so from that kind of larger pack of ephemera, which is this one here, there's smaller elements in there like butterflies. That bingo card I definitely want to use. So I'm just going to grab a few of those elements here, and then we'll start tucking those. So these got small little labels and tickets, and oh, we even got women in there. All right, we're going to use one of those. There's florals. All right, I'm just grabbing a bunch of stuff. All right, now from the finer ones, there are going to be some leaves and feathers. I love these delicate little butterflies. All right, so we're going to use some of those. There's some scrolly things. I love this. It's just so much fun. It's like a little treasure. You can dig and all right. We'll come to the words in a second. I want to just make sure I have enough to play around. Oh, there's a little teacup in there. Let's do that. Okay. I'm doing one more last check, and then we're going to start now tucking items in. I should probably use one of these tickets as well. Oh, there's stuff at the bottom. I'm just pulling some of the stuff out. Okay. That should be more than enough. All right, so I'm going to put that to the side. And now let's start tucking. So again, I'm going to work from like biggest to smallest. All right, so I love that bingo. And so I am going to, well, I'm going to stick that in there. And let's go. Do, do. All right, so you can see that I'm just starting to layer things together, all right? Whatever looks good to me, I'm just gonna go with, all right? So there's no right or wrong on this, and that's what I love about this. Oh, this is turning out really cool. All right, so what else do I want? I'm gonna do with the leaves in a second. I'm gonna get these bigger pieces in. Okay, let's just commit to this now. Now I probably got this. This is a little big, so it's not going to glue in all the way. So I'm just going to kind of cut this so because of my glute edge. No one's going to notice that I did that. You'll all know, but all right. So now I can kind of tuck that in. I'm happy with that. So all right. So now we're just seeing little bits of that doily coming out. It just adds some texture. All right. So now I'm just going to add these little pieces in. I don't know if I love this little film wheel in there, so I might just omit that for a second. All right, I feel this one needs a little bit more. So let me just go back and see what I can find here. That one's a little too big. All right, maybe we'll go then with this little guy. Oh yeah, let's do that. So everything is kind of overlapping, tucked. Okay, so I'm gonna bring these up. All right, so that's what my base is. All right, so now like I said, we're gonna start adding the little elements, more decorative elements on there. All right, so and this is where you want to get your probably foam adhesive. So I'm gonna add these lovely ladies here. I'm actually gonna cut the doily off there. All right, and we're gonna pop them up. Like I said, there's no right or wrong way on this. And again, when I do my foam adhesives, I'm keeping them to the center, all right, because we're still going to be able to tuck things behind. Now this one here, I might have went overkill with the foam because I wanted to have enough lift on top of or on them behind their heads, bodies, and bases. So there is that. This one I had the teacup, so we're going to use the teacup on this. All right, and then this one here, I think I want to use the butterfly. There was a bigger butterfly, so I'll search for that one. I did, there it is. All right, so this one here, the butterfly, I am just going to glue the body. All right, and then I'm just going to place it there. So you can see that this is really kind of taking effect, these kind of collaged little elements. All right, we're going to keep on adding. We've got these little tickets. This one here, I'm going to really quickly fussy cut out. So now I'm going into smaller elements. Okay, now normally I would take a little bit more time to trim out this ticket. I'm just doing a kind of a sloppy job here, but all right, so now we're just going to start adding elements and tucking here and there. All right, so, and you could definitely ink all the edges of this. You know, it would enhance the kind of distress look as well. But no time for inking for me. All right, so there's that. All right, so now let's add in some of these little leaves. All right, this one's seen better days. They're such finely detailed. They're beautiful. All right, so let's. All right, this one I just placed down. Okay, we have more leaves here, so now I'm going to take this one, and this one's going to tuck from behind. And that's what I mean. Don't glue right to the edges, because this is where fun little elements you can tuck behind. What else do I got here? I like these kind of more realistic leaves, so let's use them on the lady tag. Probably should be using my tweezers. I like kind of tucking and then overhanging on elements here. I have another realistic leaf, so let's use that one on the lady tag as well. And you can see now they're all kind of coming to life now. All right, I've got this lovely green leaf. A little too long, so we'll just rip the bottom of it, and let's have that coming from this side. All right, what else I got? It's stuck. It's stuck. All right. Let's see. Let's tuck this scroll. Yeah. All right. Let's tuck that scroll underneath, and then it's going to go over top. I thought that might be overkill, but we're going to do it anyways. I need my tweezers. I need my tweezers. My tweezers are missing. Oh no. Okay. All right, so we've got some of those finer elements on now. I'm going to use this little bingo chip because I think that would just look cute with the bingo card. Okay, so I think we've got a good kind of base on this, all right? So And now I'm going to grab the extra bits now, all right? The extra bits is what I call the flowers, the ephemera, the acetate, all right? Because these are going to be elements that we're going to tuck that are not going to take away from our focal points on here. So I just see a couple, of questions I just want to address right now. So good morning to everyone. Thanks, Nancy. She loves watching me create. All right, Brenda, what paper pad did you use to cut the tags? All right, so that it isn't actually it's a single sheet from Uniquely Creative, which is on our shelves. I just don't know the name of it, Diane. I will post it in the comments on both YouTube and Facebook once I figure it out. But it is a pre-printed paper, pattern paper that have tags on it. All right. So you can just take your paper trimmer or scissors and cut them out, and they are this size. However, if you have the Uniquely Creative die that coordinates with it, you just place it over top on the pattern paper and die cut, and that's going to give you that stitched edge. All right. So I'll figure that one out for you, Diane. I'll post in the comments for everyone once I have the name of it, but it is up on our website. It is a single sheet from Uniquely Creative. All right. Cheryl's asking, is it better to always ink edges in a darker tone of ink? Yes. Sometimes I don't like to go too dark. I want to keep it subtle. So and that's the thing, Cheryl, you don't want that color to overpower the piece. So normally people will always tend to do kind of a brown when they're working with kind of vintagey because, you can get a soft brown, like vintage photo is always the go-to. Mine is Gathered Twigs. That's the one I use all the time. But because of the color tones in here, bundled sage would be lovely as well. Tattered rose would be nice if you're using distress ink. Pick something that's going to complement the colors that are in there, and I wouldn't go too dark. All right, Cheryl. So that's a good point. You don't want to go too dark. I mean, then it just overpowers, like you said, Cheryl. So okay, all right. Now, all right. So now this is where the little lace pieces are going to come in. I'm going to grab a few of these florals. We also had these, I don't know where these came from. They're from, I don't know, there's these little wooden buttons. I know where they're from. They're from Spellbinders. So we might use some of those if I can make them work on here. That one's got a nice little pink one here. So I'm going to grab that one. These are just all the fun little last minute embellishments. All right. And then let's do some film strips as well, because I love these film strips because they're going to add texture. They're going to add just a little bit of interest, but they're not going to take away from your focal points. And they come in different sizes. So we've got a pink one there, and let's do a larger green one. And you know what? They have those little viewfinders in here as well. So maybe I'll incorporate one of those. Okay, let's go with it. Okay, so and these ones I just cut apart. I think I want to do the lace. All right, so these little lace pieces, um, Isabella, that's a great antique linen is a good for a soft look as well, in terms of color. And if you use the oxide inks, you'll get a different look from the regular distress inks. The oxides will leave more of a chalkier kind of finish around your edges, where the distress inks is more of a translucent ink. So yeah, you got some great options there. With these little lace pieces, I don't like to waste them because they're so pretty. So a lot of times, because I'm tucking these, I will just cut them in half. All right. And then now I got two pieces that I can use and tuck. All right. So I will do this with the florals as well. So now I can go ahead, oopsie, and tuck. All right. So I'm going to tuck this. It's going to be kind of underneath. So I'm just going to slightly tuck it. So I'm not using that full piece in there, but it's adding some lovely texture and interest in the background. All right. Now to glue these lace pieces on there, you're going to use a good Paper Arts glue. Anything we sell, Barely Arts, dries clear. That's all going to work. Just put a little bit on the edge, tuck it, and leave it. All right. Don't start playing around with it. Let the glue do its thing. All right. So there's that. All right. This piece here, let's put, I think, let's put it on this one here. I don't know where, but maybe we can tuck it. Yep, I'm going to tuck it behind that little teacup. when you do the tucking with something like this, that you have a straight edge on there, you want to make sure that the straight edge is completely concealed. You don't see that cut edge. So otherwise people will know it is a half cut. All right. So make sure your edges are covered. All right. So we've got that little lace piece in there. All right. Let's do the film strip now. I'm going to cut this one, and I might do a combination of a big one and a little one here. Let's see if I can make this work. And again, like, I don't care if it's hanging off the edge, all right? So, so I'm going to do that one first. Now this is acetate. Acetate and glue take a little bit longer to adhere to each other, or to the paper. So I'm just going to put the glue and then let it sit and stop playing with it, all right? And then this one, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to overlap. Oop, that one, we want it straight though. All right, so there's my little acetate. All right, I don't think I want any acetate on here, but let's go to our florals now. So again, with the florals, I will do this. I cut them in half. All right, so, and again, you can ink these ones. I'm going to tuck this in there. We just want those petals tucking. All right, just showing. And let's do one over here as well. And I don't think I want any florals on this one. Okay, what else I got? All right, I had that little sticker here. This little wooden one. So I'm going to just going to commit. Okay, I am really happy with all of these. I might use, see, I'll just keep on. All right, I'm putting a little butterfly on. Oh, maybe I'll put the butterfly here. Okay. Feel like it needs something up there. Okay, so I'm happy with how these have all turned out. Now I think we need to put a little sayings on here. So back to this guy here. Creativity takes courage. I think that's a good one. I have some feathers here too. We want some feathers? No, that's just, all right, let's see what else I got here. Fly without wings, and little by little. Let's do that. Okay, these words are on that pattern paper as well. So the pattern paper has those 8 tags that you can cut out. It's got these little tickets. It's got a strip of these tickets on there, or 2 strips, and then it's got all these words. It is a great, great paper. All right, so I'm just going to use my scissors and just kind of really kind of clean up the cut here. Those film strips are pretty awesome. I love that they're acetate, because they just kind of blend into your background but add that interest, right? So yes. All right, so just cutting these. And I'm going to trim that one a little bit shorter. And I got such a mess going on my desk here. And little by little, we're going to just trim a little bit shorter, and just, that one wasn't too bad in cutting. All right, so we've got our 3 little sayings. Little by little, maybe. Fly without wings, and creativity takes courage. Yeah, I think so. This one I'm going to clean up a little bit more. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to just go ahead and pop these sentiments up. I'm going to use my strips here. And then to finish these tags off, like, if you're happy, then you could go one step further and splatter it, which is always a nice effect. So fly without wings. And now creativity takes courage. I'm going to put this into, well, maybe little by little. Maybe that one will fit here. I'm going to do little by little, creativity takes courage there. I switched it up. People always ask, like, how do you know when too much is too much, right? If it looks good to you, then just go with it, all right? There are no rules in paper crafting, all right? If it looks good to you, then go with it, all right? So, all right, little by little is on there, and creativity takes courage. All right, I really cut this crooked. Let me just, and I'm going to put this into 2 strips here. Thank you, Janice. Janice says this was a great project at Scrap Fest. I know when I told the girls that that's what they were doing, they were really excited. Michelle and Venice. It's kind of their style. All right, so again, I like things hanging off the, oops, I have a piece of plastic in there. Hanging off the edge. And then once you have your sentiment on, you know, I always like go, all right, do I need anything else? All right, so let me just hold that one up. All right, so there. I mean, that was really quick and easy. Does that one need anyone else? You know what? We probably need pearls or something. So I'm just going to grab this. This one I know definitely needs something else. Uniquely Creative also has these great pearl embellishments. And you see that on the inside of my clock here, which is really, they're fantastic. So I'm going to use those as well. So I'm going to grab, do we want blue ones? Well, let's do blue because I have lots of blue here. So, all right. So, doo-doo. So these little stickers as well, and if you've taken a class with me where we've used these, I've kind of showed you that you can cut these in half, all right? So again, they're just great little embellishments to add, but I also use them to tuck under things as well. So I will cut these in half as well. So I will just do so that we have the 3 and then the 2 on a separate one, and then you're able to get more bang for your buck. All right, so now I can go ahead and I can tuck this so it looks like it's a full one underneath there, but it's only a partial one. All right, so there's that. And then I can take the remaining ones, and they're all adhesive back, so they'll all stick together. And then this one here, I can put up here. Again, it will look like it's a full one back there, but I didn't waste it. All right, so now that one I'm loving, it's good. I'm gonna leave that be. All right, this one here, what do we want? Does it need anything else? Do we want to, I'm gonna do a pink one on here just because I can. All right, so we'll do one there. Oopsie, I just took the blade right out of my X-Acto knife. Those things are sticky. Oh my goodness. Okay, I think I'm just going to leave that one with the 1 on there. All right, so there is that. All right, and then this one here, I'm loving the top of my tag. All right, I just don't like how this leaf is just loosey-goosey here. So let's find a floral or something that we can use. I'm going to go into this one here first because there was florals in here, but I'm pretty sure they were probably all used up in the make and takes. So let me just see what's at the very bottom. Ooh, I might be lucky. I am. Oh, I see two florals. So I just feel it needs, oh, it's a little doily. I have a floral here too. Okay. So I'm going to use that floral, but I still feel it needs something else just to ground that floral. So we're just going to layer that on top of that leafy one. And I think I need some type of strip down here. So again, I'm just going to go back and see what I have. I probably should have put my saying down there. Let's see. Just need something to ground it. Oh, that's a good piece. All right, so I've got this more linear piece here. So I am going to just trim these. And now I'm going to, I wish it was a different color. All right, let me just see what else I got. I'm being picky, guys, sorry. Oh, there's a little tick. Oh, I want that as a different color, though. All right, I'm going to go with the 35-cent one. All right, the little tickets here. All right, so now I'm just going to kind of cover those stems so they look like they're just not floating. All right, so I'm just, oops, let's put that on straight though. All right, now that one looks complete. All right, so there's that. All right, let's just finish this off now by doing some splattering because I think that really finishes it off. So I'm just going to move everything. I'm not going to put any gems on this one. I'm moving everything out. And I think I'm going to go ahead with some white splatter. So let me just go grab that. And I'm going to use my watercolor, my Japanese watercolor here in the white. All right, so let me just get going. I know some of you are waiting for this white to come back in stock. We do have it on order. We do have a lot of the other colors available, but our white is out of stock. My brush is so gross, but this is my dedicated white brush. Just have to loosen it up. All right, so I'm going to load up my brush, and now we're going to splatter. And then the last thing I'll do is add a little bit of twine on those. And then we'll incorporate them, like I said, onto a card. All right, so there is our first one. Creativity takes courage with the ladies on there. We'll let them dry. And then we have fly without wings. And then we have little by little. All right. They turned out awesome. All right. And then we had the original ones that I did with Uniquely Creative, which are a little bit mangled, but we didn't have. But there we go. All right. So there are the little having fun with some ephemera from Uniquely Creative for quick and simple little tags. They're lots of fun. And like when you start creating these, just start on a bunch of projects and just kind of like I worked on 3 and just start adding and adding. Start from your biggest to the littles and remember to keep that adhesive to the center so you can tuck things in. All right, so that is it for me, everyone. I will finish these up in terms of putting them on cards. I realized that the 49 and Market from the garden, the solids collection matches this collection or matches all this beautifully. So if I wanted to put that now on a card base, the solids from the garden works really fantastic with this color palette of these. All right, they have that vintagey look. So I'll finish them off camera. I'll see if I can incorporate a layout as well using these to show you how you can use these layered embellishments as or layered tags as embellishments on your layout. All right, so that's it for me, everyone, for Fun Friday. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for watching on the rewatch, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.